Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Connor, here with my father,
Kevin.
And today we have some very special guests. Magdalena Bay, do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Sure, I'm Matt.
And I'm Mika.
And thanks so much for having us here.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for taking the time to come out here. How are you guys doing? How was the second show of the tour so far?
Yeah. So far we've done San Francisco and Portland, and they've both been great. And tonight we're playing Vancouver.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. And both San Francisco was, so you started there. How was the crowd energy for those shows? Were they
it was good.
pretty energetic?
Yeah.
I think the first show is always interesting because you're working out it's like your first time performing the new set for everyone, so there's still like some little kinks to work out. But the second show was definitely, I felt like we fixed some things and
started to get in the flow of it.
And felt like the energy a little bit better.
Getting more comfortable.
It was also like 100 degrees in the venue. So
always helps like loosen things up in a weird way.
I think the Commodore is actually cold. Like it's cold.
It's a little, yeah.
It's
the
not
venue
a
you guys
hot
are playing
venue.
tonight. It's a little chilly.
It was crazy though. In Portland, we walked into the venue and I was like, oh my god, it must be 60 degrees in here, Fahrenheit, because it was freezing. And then by the time the entire audience came in, it was just so hot.
100.
Yeah.
Well, that's nuts.
Yeah.
And you're feeling that on the stage, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, big time. You're just totally soaked through.
Yeah, my costumes are all wet. I was like, this is so messed up.
I heard at the Arctic Monkey show we went to that someone had mentioned to me that, and you can talk about this, is that when you're doing vocals, is it better to be in a hot venue than a cold venue?
That's a good question. I mean, I'm not usually like cold when performing because there's like a natural like heat that generates, but yes, that is true. I'd rather it be hot than cold, but when it's hot like that, I feel like my body's just like struggling a little more to like get things out, you know. It's just under like more duress, but it was great. Like it was all good.
So this is probably one of our more unique episodes,
for sure,
and that's because we had received so many messages from our viewers and your fans in the last, I guess, when did the album drop? Just the
24th?
23rd.
23rd.
I don't even know how long it is.
24th. 23rd.
It was a week and a bit, 2 weeks. We've received so many messages. Like I'd say, would you say in the hundreds?
In the hundreds, wow. Easily. Like I was like, where is this coming from? It was like everywhere. Every social media was coming through, DMs, everything. I'm like, what's going on right now? Like, what's happening?
Yeah. So your fans are incredibly passionate. And they were bombarding us to listen to the record. Yeah. I'm so glad they did. So I'm very thankful. You guys have some wonderful fans that follow you.
Yeah. Coming to the house was a bit much. I was not cool.
Yeah. When they were knocking on the door.
Dressed with the big.
Yeah.
With the big red. Wearing costumes. It was getting a little too much. So we had to do the album. So we covered the record on our channel. It's not even up yet. I haven't even finished editing the video, just because I saw that you guys were in town, a couple days after we finally went and did the record. Dad, a lot of the people messaging us said you specifically would love the record.
Yes.
Usually they say both of us would love it, and I loved the record. But a lot of people were saying you got to show it to you specifically because there's stuff that you would like. And
is it because I'm old?
Maybe, I don't know.
You can hit me with that. I know. Yeah, I'm 75. I'm getting up there, Jim.
Maybe because you're old, but no. What did you like about the record?
Okay. I have to say this right to you guys right now, and I'm so excited. I have not been this excited about an album since that right there.
Which one?
Random Access.
Great album.
That's a great album.
When Connor played that for me, and I only heard Get Lucky Ever because I was going through that stage where I was just like babies and stuff like that. So I danced to that on the radio and stuff like that. But I didn't go into the album. We listened to Giorgio Moroder. Yeah. That picks up. Omar Hakim's going crazy on the kit. As a drummer myself, I was just absolutely flipping, right? So when I got into your guys' album, I literally, you'll have to see the video, but
yeah,
I can't tell you what it did. I said, what did I say? I said from my toes to my midsection to all of my body was moving like crazy.
It felt like an out of body experience.
Wow. It was no, and that you know, and you guys are musicians, so you know that when like little points of I got to stop and slow down here for a sec because I've got so many questions. But like when the drums kick in, and you decided to use a ride cymbal, and when there was just so much sonically that just made me move and was close to crying. Like it's so good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I truly mean that from my bottom of my heart. Like it's
awesome.
It's interesting because when you're making it, you feel really emotionally invested in the music, but by the time the music comes out, you get so detached from it just from the like just the time that it takes to take a record from finished being produced and written to being put out. There's so many little tweaks and the mixing and the mastering and stuff, and so you end up just like getting a little numb to it. So it's really awesome to hear that it could still have that emotional effect on people, and sort of other people can feel moved by it the same way that we felt when we were making it. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, it's spectacular. Like it's all around. Like I don't know. I can't. I have questions, but
I haven't seen you that excited in
I may have said things I shouldn't have said.
Yeah, and no, I haven't seen you that excited since a couple of years ago when I showed you Daft Punk for the first time.
Yeah,
and I feel like being compared to Daft Punk in a way is a compliment. Of course, like that album is legendary. What questions do you have regarding
the album, or should I start with my original question here?
Yeah, go whatever you feel like.
I'm going to throw a question at you guys, if you don't mind. Us being Canadians, I was wondering, is there any Canadian artists that you guys have been influenced by?
Yeah. I'd say, Rush is like the big one.
Yeah. Also Grimes.
Yeah, Grimes.
Yeah.
Grimes and Rush.
Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that album really hugely inspired us to make pop in the first place, so that's big for us, and Rush for Matt, and also for me, when we were in our prog phase, I was listening a little bit.
I wouldn't call it a phase.
Sorry.
No, but when we were in high school,
still in our prog phase. Sorry.
When we were in high school together, we had like a few CDs that we had burned for our car that we would listen to, and one of them, I would do like a mix. So I had like a Rush sort of greatest hits collection that I'd play. And I think your favorite was Xanadu, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was my favorite.
Yeah. I'm a big fan, Rush fan. I didn't follow them when I was younger until the last probably 8 years, till my bass player was like, he's from Ontario, so he's like, everybody from Ontario was like 2112.
Okay,
They're right. And so I've fallen to prog and early, like Genesis and that now later on, especially since you showed me, like, it's crazy. You introduced me to Radiohead because I was so into structured, 1-4-5 pop, John Mellencamp, Bryan Adams, that kind of stuff. So I didn't ever think out of the box.
Right.
Kid A and just
we started the channel. Yeah.
And then that really opened my mind to it. So it's like, and Rush is just, Rush is Rush.
Well, and then I can speak a little bit on Art Angels because you haven't heard Art Angels, right? You know a little bit about Grimes, but not.
I zero.
I think I showed you a song or two, but
yeah.
That album specifically, I listened to it when it came out, and it just connected with me in such a amazing way because I didn't think pop could be written that way. How Grimes, executed it on that record. And it's funny because I brought the record out and put it up because we did some research in the last couple days and we saw that you guys were influenced by Grimes. But my first listen to the record, I wasn't with my dad. I listened to it before we did we decided to do the video. I went and gave it a listen, and immediately on the first track I got that same feeling that I got listening to Art Angels for the first time, which is it was very cool for me because I hadn't felt that feeling since 2015. It was like a really,
That's awesome.
I was like, wow, like it gave me that almost like, how do I say it? Like Art Angels, but like on steroids.
Well, yeah, it's cool. I think we had a very similar experience. Yeah, I remember listening to Art Angels, and like I think when World Princess Part 2 came in the track list, and yeah, probably having very similar thoughts that you did about what pop music is, and sort of just be like, you know, mind blown.
How it could be pushed, you know, like,
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, that entire record is crazy, and Grimes is actually from Vancouver. I think she moved and did her whole career mostly in Montreal, and she references it on Art Angels on the title track. But she is Vancouver. She is from here. I
have another question.
Yeah,
I just want to. I've read about you guys having the prog rock band going on, right? But I'm really curious. At what age and in your family, was there artists in your family? How did that all come about?
Yeah, like musical influences.
Yeah, and when you guys were younger,
you know?
like how did that flourish up?
I basically just developed my dad's music taste from a kid. He's not a musician, but he's like a classic 70s audiophile, you know, super into to vinyl and speaker systems and stuff. So he had like a huge CD collection, and I would just spend time like taking a CD, burning it into my iTunes and listening to it, awesome. You know, somewhere like had skips and stuff. But yeah, I mean, he was into Rush and all sorts of prog rock and yeah, just like, I think I took influence from his music taste and then also took it as a jumping off point to like explore some other stuff. Yeah. Like for instance, he had Tidal by Fiona Apple. So like I took that and I loved that record, but then I was like, okay, let me listen to Fiona Apple's other records and really just like delved into the rest of her discography, where like he was like, well, I don't know if I really like her newer stuff, you know.
but you took that you know, the starting point from him basically, and then kind of went on your own.
Yeah, same with Radiohead. Like he had the Bends, and I loved the Bends, and it's still probably my favorite Radiohead album. But from there, I was like, okay, well, what else do they got? And then I got In Rainbows and got into the rest of it, and then just became totally obsessed, you know, more than my dad ever was. But, yeah.
And Mika?
Yeah, damn, I don't know. I mean, I always really liked music. You know, whether it was like the Mulan or like Little Mermaid soundtrack way in the beginning. But yeah, my dad plays a little guitar, like nothing, you know, not like a performing musician or anything like that, but my parents do love music, and I was born in Argentina and they're from Argentina, so a lot of my like first favorite music was like Shakira, or like being a little girl in like 2004, like Britney Spears, and just kind of like that, you know, Y2K pop background in a way. But as I got older, I got more into like rock and indie. I had a big like My Chemical Romance phase.
Oh yeah,
it's really interesting. When I was 11, and I was obsessed with.
I feel like a lot of people will go through that phase, like in that or those early teens, especially. I don't know how old you guys are exactly, but I'm assuming like, was that like around like close to like Tumblr and stuff and that era?
Yeah, I wasn't really like on Tumblr at that point.
Yeah, but like
I was a little young, but it was.
Didn't you have like? Wasn't there a picture of you that went sort of like viral on Tumblr when you were like a teen?
Yeah, I was like 16. I was smoking like the only, like literally one of 3 cigarettes I've smoked in my entire life, and it was like everywhere. And I was like, it's
like a black and white picture.
Yeah, on the beach in Miami, wearing like a vintage sweater that my friend took. But yeah, I don't know. I really liked like indie rock and stuff, you know, after the My Chemical Romance phase.
Yes, after that phase.
Yeah, but
were you into any of the like Argentinian rock music that your parents listened to, or not really?
Not really, no. Yeah. They would just, and they still kind of play like the same kind of hits at family events. And now I'm in this big phase of really like digging into those artists, and there's such amazing music, but I don't know why it took me so long to really, get into it.
It's funny because I feel like most kids are so averse to their parents' music taste, and they just want to like listen to the rest. But I never had that My Chemical Romance phase. I was like so stuck in the 70s classic rock. It's like I never had my angsty
angsty teenage years.
I mean, at least not musically. Definitely had them.
Emotionally.
Emotionally. Instead of listening to My Chemical Romance, I was like listening to Genesis.
King Crimson.
Yeah, King Crimson. Yeah.
Fantastic. I guess that could parlay to your question. You were going to say, like, what are you guys currently listening to now? Like,
well, actually, yeah, I did have a question of what are your guys's. A lot of people that were messaging us. A couple of them were saying, "Hey, are you able to get them on the show?" And I said, "I don't know. We'll see, maybe." And people were saying, "Can you ask?" They had sent me a couple of questions that people just want to know. One is, what are some of your favorite albums from this year? Do you guys have?
We don't listen to
much newer stuff.
It's so messed up, but especially when we're like working on music, it's like really hard for us to keep up with releases for some reason. Like,
we listened to Cecile's new EP, which was
that's awesome. Yeah, Cecile Believe. I don't know, we've like barely listened to anything at all really, like new or old since finishing the album, right? Like, what have we
I'm honestly
to?
Trying to think. I don't know, when you're working on music, you get in this weird headspace where you sort of like you want to be as insular as possible. I think it's subconsciously probably to like avoid being influenced by other things coming out at the same time.
You can probably speak on that a little bit.
I could
That's kind of one of the main reasons why you avoided music.
I did. I stopped listening to music for a good chunk of time because I didn't want to pick up anything at all. So I just wanted to come up with my original sound. So I was like, wasn't listening to it. But in hindsight now, I wish I was listening to prog,
at least a little bit.
At least, a diverse catalog of music, because at least I could have picked up some of the things that are going on and then made my sound. But I totally agree with that. It's.
Did you guys have any music playing like during the album writing process? Was there albums that you were listening to?
I think like probably because we were so trying to avoid listening to anything contemporary, we just like went back to what we listened to in high school a lot, which was, we went back to listen to Radiohead and Pink Floyd and and stuff.
Hey, that's my wheelhouse.
But I feel like it was also like a period of discovery, at least for me in a way. Like, I got like deeper into Paul McCartney than I really ever have before, like listening to all his albums and stuff.
You went through all of his albums, like his solo stuff.
Not all.
We couldn't make it through all of it. He
has a lot. He's got like.
I think we made it up to like the 80s, and we're like, okay, we could stop with the Paul McCartney solo stuff.
But also Bowie and like so it was cool. I mean, we were kind of like on tour as we were beginning to write music for Imaginal Disc, and that's a great, like when we were in the van, that's a great setting to listen to music in, because it's usually like Matt driving for 7 hours at a time, and we just need to put on an album. Like, what are we going to listen to?
Well, I had a question about the album and the tour itself. Is the closing track a Beatles reference?
Yeah,
it is. Okay.
John and Yoko.
That's what he.
During the reaction, I was like, "That it has to be." I mean,
also our tour name is also.
That was my second question. Was the tour?
Or Beatles.
I think.
Beatles
When Get Back came out, like the documentary, I just went full like steam diving back into Beatles obsession, and then
it's you pulled me into it. It's so cool.
I was like, we're gonna listen to all the Beatles albums in chronological order. I'm gonna like quiz you on who's singing what song.
Oh, that sounds so fun.
Oh, jeez. That was such a good doc.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It's so cool,
we were obsessed.
Have you guys seen Paul McCartney live?
No.
Hopefully, you can catch him on his. I know he's still touring. He does like 3-hour shows. And he's 82, I think, 84.
Yeah, he's up there. Yeah,
he's up there.
So wild.
But you know what? What blows my mind is his band's been with him for like 20 years now.
Yeah. Same guys.
I know, it's crazy how long they've been with him. Right? It's just been. I'm going to ask something. Do you mind?
Wait, can I see what question you're going?
What is it? Which one?
Well, no, because I was asking them about the. No, that's not the question I was thinking of. Because I asked about.
I was going to say, do you guys want burritos? That's the.
Okay.
No. Because I asked about if the final track was a Beatles reference, I thought that would be good to segue into your Genius app question.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to go there.
Are you guys familiar with the app Genius?
Yeah. Okay, so lyrics. This is I'm getting down here.
My dad's really big into lyrics. He's like every reaction we do, even if it's a new album, I usually like to go in first, listen without the lyrics. I just try to enjoy the sound and catch what I can. The lyrics are so important to you that you kind of read along, which is a unique. A lot of people do it though. Yeah. I thought you were weird, but it's
you know what? There's been some viewers who are like, you shouldn't read the lyrics. Remember early on they were saying you shouldn't read the lyrics because it's like you're reading the script of the movie
while watching it.
And I'm like, okay, well, but I love lyrics, and that the lyrical component is so important for me.
Yeah.
To match the musical element, right? So my question was, being a lyric freak, I'm always using the Genius app for when we listen to an album, and I was wondering, have you ever noticed that the Genius app song meanings are accurate to what...
Yeah, do you ever go in there and look at them?
I honestly
did
haven't.
Recently.
Oh, you did?
Did you?
Yeah. And I'm not going to comment on accuracy because we don't believe in the concept of that there's like one true...
Okay.
Interpretation of it.
Yeah.
But I think there's really creative interpretations.
That's creative.
Some that might not be what we originally intended them to be, or like how we interpret them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's totally fine. I mean,
okay, because this weekend's listen, I'm going to smoke some little puff, and I'm sitting with my stereo upstairs, and I'm going to listen to the album. I'm going to read the lyrics, but I'm going to let it just flow through me.
Yeah, it's so interesting because I'm like you. Like I never. When I listen to new music, I honestly don't even try to register the lyrics. And I for so long I was like, I didn't even care. I was like, I don't need the lyrics. I just care how the music sounds,
and how it makes you feel, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if that kind of translated into your music, because you actually made the conscious decision about maybe a quarter way through the album. You said I put the phone away. You said I'm going to put the lyrics away because you felt like the music was so powerful. Yeah. And you felt like Mika's voice and you did some background vocals. Did you?
Did you do
very minimal? Very minimal.
Yeah. Did you do the deep part in
Love Is Everywhere?
Yes.
Yeah, that's me. But also me like pitch down an octave.
So that's what. Okay, layers
it sounds like I can't go that low.
It was total Barry White. Right?
Yeah. But no, you decided about a few tracks in. You said I'm gonna put the lyrics away because the music was. You felt like their voices were almost like an instrument in a way.
Completely. I've always been ever since I was young. I thought I was weird because I would get, chicken skins or whatever, goosebumps or whatever you want to call it, whatever country from, and I'd start crying a lot with just music, the way the waveforms go, and I felt like I was a weird kid or something like that. But I just realized music does something to me, and that's what this album did for me. It just really transcended me somewhere, and I said it before, from toes all over, every hair was just like moved me. It's fantastic.
Yeah, you got close to tears many times.
Yeah, no, I'm not just. It's great, and you know what? You guys are here right now, and thank you for that. But you probably will never come back here because I think it's onward.
Why do you say that?
No, I'm just saying it's onward and upward, and you're going to be very, very busy.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say?
Yeah.
About the lyrics. I mean, I think it's totally valid to read them, but I also think it's totally valid to just like, let it wash over you, like Matt was saying, as a holistic experience. And I do think even if you're not like listening out for the lyrics, like they find you in certain ways, and and the words like that you do pick up on like do help dictate, the mood, or like, like it all works together in a very interesting way.
Part of poetry is just how the words and the vowels and the consonants and like they all in the syllables sound, because they all have to flow in a way that sounds pleasing, to the ear. So it's obviously the lyrical content is super important, but there's also just the way that words sound.
Are you big into reading poetry?
No.
No, I'd like to be though. Maybe I'll get on that.
I like literature that's written poetically, like with poetic prose. But I don't know. For some reason, I haven't gotten into.
What are some of your favorite books?
I don't don't know.
I'm very curious because I like reading a lot.
His whole room is filled.
I have a giant bookshelf.
I have one book.
Yeah, you have like one or two.
Yeah.
But I was curious if you have any at the top of your head that like one of your favorites of all time, or.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like
or you like genre. Like, is there a specific genre that you're into?
Just like novels, I think. I think my answer of like favorite book reading experience is like a little, I guess, kind of it's become sort of a meme, but Infinite Jest, I do stand by that.
It has become a meme. I haven't read it, but I always I see memes about that all the time. It's like, someone holding it and it's like, bitch, put that down. You're not finishing that shit. But you've finished it.
I did finish it. Yeah, I mean, it was I guess at a time in college where I probably wasn't too busy with classes or anything, but
it's very long.
It's long, but it really just was, I don't know, it just very, very engaging, and the whole like, the footnotes are like half of the book, novel, which I just thought was super creative. And
I've wanted to add it to my bookshelf, but I've been scared of the meme. I'm scared someone's gonna take a picture of me.
I know that's why I even like hesitated to mention it, because it is like...
No, but if you've actually read it, I feel like it's different.
Maybe.
Do you read a lot?
I definitely read a lot as a kid, and I'm still trying to get back into that because it was like reading all the time every day, and Matthew was like that too. Like we were both like
as a young kid,
like nerds, But my favorite, I guess, like my most recent favorite book is probably Solaris, which I started to read as I like kind of honed in on the themes for this album. That's like I love sci-fi novels. That's definitely my favorite genre.
Have you watched the film?
Yeah, we watched it.
I watched it recently too, actually, for the first time.
The George Clooney one, or
no, not the George Clooney one. The original.
Yeah, the original's cool. I felt like the book was on a different level though. Like it's just such a cool take on self, and it's so creepy and it's so like technical also, But I really, really love it, and it was like a good source of inspiration for,
I was just gonna ask,
mood and stuff of the record.
Did film play a big influence on this record?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we love movies. Yeah, and I feel like we get a lot of inspiration from films, from like the atmosphere, from the colors, from the soundtracks, from the set pieces, from the way things look and things feel, and I think it has to do a lot with like the emotional quality of a film. Like it really like transports you and like sucks you in a way that like we really hope our music could do.
Yes, it does.
It does.
Thank
Oh
you.
yes.
Yeah,
crazy. I gotta ask, just on the tail end of that, one of my questions here. I'm gonna move them down here because I don't need them anymore. In terms of like stage design, clothing design, and also video design, where does that come from? From you guys, or do you have outside source, or?
Yeah, we're like, I guess you would say creative directing.
Yeah.
Well, I guess like historically, like before this record and when we first started out, it was really just us doing like all the visual elements. Mika became like really quickly an editing wizard, and
oh wow,
yeah, just
fantastic.
I think really honed in on her
her
visual style.
Yeah.
And I'll just be like holding the camcorder, behind.
Yeah, no, but Matt also contributes a lot to editing, like a lot. And
well, it's fun when you could sit down and I could be like, hey, can we do this? And Miko would be like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I watched Imagine, and I was like, the video. So I was
for Image.
Yeah,
Image. Sorry, Image.
Not Imagine.
Yeah.
We're talking Beatles. So
yeah. We're on the Beatles.
John Lennon.
But that was.
Yeah. So for these new videos, it's like sort of our first time really deeply collaborating with an outside director, which is Amanda Kramer, and she's awesome. Yeah. And we sort of like met up with her and we're like, hey, we want to do this for the videos, and she was just really on the same creative wave, and it was really cool to like, I think, let go some of the creative control, but also feel like we could do that with someone that we could trust, so.
And understands your vision.
Yeah,
totally. And then we kind of like, then you get into the editing, and it's like all about control because it's just us and the computer, and we're like
So we didn't direct these, but we did edit them, which I think is where a lot of the the Magdalena Bay
flavor
comes
comes
out
through.
in the editing.
But yeah, we've like learned so much, and Matt's gotten so good at like VFX. Like,
and doing
light.
a lot of After Effects.
Oh,
Like,
sweet.
screen, all those TVs you see in Image. Like,
I was just-
we
Yeah.
replaced all the
Oh, sweet.
Did you? Wow.
painstakingly.
It's really a tedious work, VFX.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's
yeah, you gotta
nothing-
give the VFX artists.
Yeah,
their
they're amazing, and we do have amazing VFX people working on these videos too. But we're trying to help like fill in the gaps on some of the less like grandiose things, like screen replacement and stuff.
Who's
It's been
making the clothing?
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
This costume designer Chrissy,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and she's
yeah.
awesome.
it's fantastic. I tell
It's
you.
so cool. She's a genius. Yeah, like
Yeah.
we got references together, but it's so we're like, oh, we like this, this,
Right, we're
and
like,
this.
oh, we want a blue one that's kind of like this, and a
We
red
got
one.
a red
like
one
this.
that's kind of like that, and like, oh, we're inspired by like this, cult leader over here, and like this like mime over there. And she was like, perfect, I get it. Like,
Yeah.
here you go.
A question that just came to my head. I didn't have this written down or anything, but would you guys ever want to or do a soundtrack to a film or score a film? Is that something that you think
Yeah,
would
definitely.
be fun? Because I could see you guys doing that and really doing a good job.
It would be so cool.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
with the right movie, it would be awesome.
What type of what genre of film would you?
Sci-fi.
Sci-fi would be cool.
Sci-fi would be
I mean,
cool.
or just like a sci-fi inspired, I don't know, surrealist thing.
Yeah,
I don't know
I feel like
what you would call that.
Yeah, I feel like many genres would be really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know, like comedy might be weird, but maybe like a rom-com would be strange. But you never know.
Yeah, we
Could
could
be
do
like
it.
an artsy rom.
A
Anyone
whole-
trying to do an
yeah.
artsy rom-com?
That could be cool. Yeah, people would want that. I was thinking horror film could be cool too.
Yeah.
You could go into like some more darker sounds.
I can't
Yeah.
watch that though.
No, you don't watch
Yeah.
horror film. I've never seen a horror film in my life.
Oh my god.
I think we've been more into like horror films from the 70s
'Cause they're
and
less
80s
scary.
they're I'd say like they're more focused on creating like the atmosphere of the
Mhm.
horror and like
Yeah.
creating a really cool like deep vibe,
Yeah.
versus I think modern horror movies are mostly
like jump scares and stuff.
jump scares
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like gore effects
Like
and stuff, which we're not super
Extremely
into.
disturbing content. But
Right,
I-
just like high anxiety.
Yeah.
Like
No,
yeah,
that's the you know what? That's the last.
yeah.
I will not watch.
A horror film.
No, I can't. I'm already high strung. Like I'm.
Yeah.
You have bad anxiety. You have nightmares
Yeah,
already.
yeah, it's horrible.
You must have seen The Shining at least. or
Yes.
no? Okay.
But
So
that's
yeah, that's
That's different, yeah.
well, I think that's like a good example of something that just like creates a really great atmosphere, but is also it gets you a little scared, but not it's not like so extremely. It's not gonna make you like so disturbed. I mean,
Yeah.
it will make you disturbed, but like in a different.
in a
like,
different
in a nice
way.
way.
Yeah,
in
just a
more.
little bit.
yeah.
The film we talked about, Solaris. That's Tarkovsky, right?
Yeah.
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 Have you guys watched his other stuff? Any of his other films?
No, actually.
Because there's one that I think that reminds me of your guys' music, and I have the book. It's called Roadside Picnic, and then
Cool.
the film is called Stalker. Have you heard of that one?
No,
No.
we're always
Oh.
looking for film recs.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah.
need.
Yeah, that's my favorite
Yeah.
Tarkov. I've watched all his work. They were doing it actually in Vancouver. We have a small cinema called the Cinematheque, and they did all his films last December.
You loved it, didn't you?
Oh, it was
Yeah, yeah.
fantastic.
That's
Yeah,
so
cool.
it was really
Yeah.
cool to go. We watched it in chronological order. Like
Nice.
each week there was like 2 films, and Stalker. I think I could picture you guys totally like doing a soundtrack to that. So if you ever watch that,
will.
keep your music in mind. What else you got? Question.
You know what? I have to ask here. When you guys collab on a track, who takes the lead on terms of like vocals, lyrics, and melody? Do you guys collab on that and say, okay, we're gonna go this? Yeah.
I think Miko will generally start. I don't know what you call this process when, you're sort of speaking gibberish words while you're writing the melody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then at a certain point, we'll both work and like fine tune the melody, and then we'll have these sort of placeholder words that, then Mika will be like, okay, give me a sec, I'm gonna write something down and think about what this actually means, and then once you have it at a place, you'll bring it to me, and then we'll sort of
we'll go through. We'll be like, is this working or not? What sounds weird?
No, it's so cool, because I always thought everybody just sort of runs through and just magically comes up, with these great things. Then I saw the Beatles documentary, and then I was like,
really
I know. Mm-hmm. And then I hear other artists, and they're just going through the track. John is building big and tell them, and they're doing the thing.
It's that one scene in Get Back where Paul McCartney actually writes Get Back.
Yes,
you guys probably remember that.
Yeah.
That's so iconic, and he's sitting there playing it, and you're watching him in real time discover the melody. And he's just humming along and figuring it out, and then it becomes one of their best songs, arguably.
But it's cool to hear that everybody sort of goes through that process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You have to go through that to get there. It just doesn't come out with. I guess some people say they write a song in 3 minutes and it's a hit.
Yeah,
and
we've heard that.
Yeah, I wrote that 3 minutes. Just it came right out of me, and I'm like, what? I'm sitting there struggling. 2:00 in the morning, doing these stupid.
Yeah,
vocal
I hear that often. I'll hear artists say I wrote that song in 10 minutes or whatever, and I part of me is impressed, but then part of me is like, would I share that if I was a musician?
Suspicious of it.
Yeah.
I think people like to think that, or people like the idea of that songs are, they come down from God, and then you get you're just given to it, and then it comes out of you in 3 minutes. And I don't know, I think there is something also that's equally as valuable as really crafting a song and, really working on it for months or something. And I think it's just as
both are just
cool.
as valuable.
Yeah, for sure.
And both happen to us, when it comes to writing. Obviously,
I don't know about 3 minutes.
I don't know about 3 minutes, maybe
but
3 hours, an hour.
Yeah, some songs come out a little bit more naturally, and they just flow, and then other ones you really need to hammer
work
out.
And that's fine.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone is better than the other.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of just making music, you guys were credited on Little Yachty's record. I saw last year. Was it last year? I think it was last year. I'm losing track of time, but which is the
running out of time.
How did that happen? How did that come? I'm sure someone has asked you this on the internet before, but I'm curious. I actually don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure you've noticed that it's the same. Baseline instrumental as "Love Is Everywhere" on the record.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, we basically wrote this instrumental with this guy Justin, and we really liked it. We're like, oh, this is great. It's gonna be, it's gonna be amazing for a record.
Save it for a record, yeah.
Yeah, and then Justin was like, hey, Little Yachty wants to use the track on his new record. And we're like, sweet, cool. We could both use it.
And they agreed.
Yeah.
So that's how it works. You can because you guys wrote it, you guys can.
I think. It's always a case by case basis. So I think it's something we had to specifically work out where it's okay, we both like the instrumental, we both want to use it, Are we all cool with this? Yes. Okay, great. But I don't think there's no one way that it's going to work out. Basically you need all parties to agree.
Because I didn't know if you guys were in the studio with Yachty working on it now, so this was separate, and then he just heard it. Is there any artist that you kind of are looking forward to possibly working with one day in the future? Do you have some dream collabs that you would love to, whether it be a production role on someone's record?
Peter Gabriel or
for sure.
Geddy Lee or...
It's so hard. I mean, you could say, I want to collaborate with all the people who really inspired us. Which sounds amazing in theory, but the truth is you never know how a collab is going to go until you're actually trying it, because sometimes it
looks good
meshes.
on paper.
It doesn't mesh. So I don't know. We're always down to try pretty much anything.
Yeah. We're basically really bad at answering this question, and we need to think of some short answer.
We need a stock answer for this one,
because we've been doing our little VIP things at our shows, and people always ask us, and we just go,
I don't know.
No, that's a good point though, because you don't know if you guys are very chill and down to earth, and I can feel the vibe with you guys, right? But you do have people with egos and that kind of stuff, right?
You don't know how people are going to mesh,
and you can put them in the room, and
I think especially when mean, you have people's strong creative visions. You know, it's like when you work on a song together, you know, there are some collaborators that are there to help the artist accomplish their vision, right?
Yeah.
And that's like someone who's like in a producer role or like a writer role where we'll work with the artist and be like, hey, like, let's make a song for you, and how can I help do that? Then there's other people, you know, who are like, I have my thing, I do my thing, and, you know, this is what you're going to get when you work with me, and you're going to get my thing.
Yeah.
And I think for us, I mean, we can do both, and we have done, you know, the former, where we'll work with someone and be like, hey, like, let's make a song for you. Like, you know, we could do like our thing and like help you do that. But also I think we do tend to be like, you know, we have a sound that we think we like and represents like Magdalena Bay, and I think that would work with some people naturally, and with other people like probably not, but you don't know until you try it.
Until you try it.
There's been times, what was the record I believe we covered? It was Gorillaz, and it was a Gorillaz and Tame Impala collab on the record, and on paper both those names sounds perfect, and then the song was just, I don't know, it wasn't like anything special. It was a good song. I
remember one I thought was going to blow my balls off
was Tame Impala and Thundercat, and it was just okay.
It was just like, it was okay, like
it might just be like all of those three artists you mentioned like have such a distinct, you know, they have their own artistic vision, and sometimes, you know, when you put like two strong colors together, you know, it might just muddle all of it.
Well, it's 1 o'clock, so I don't know if you guys have you know, short amount of time. So do you want to do you have like one question
maybe
before we
just one last question?
Sure.
I've got so many about one I have to ask here. Okay.
Good.
Some parts on there, I was feeling some Supertramp feels, right? I was wondering at any part in there, you guys used a Yamaha CP70.
Yeah, I mean, not a real one, unfortunately, but a digital.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, CP70, I think, Supertramp, but also Genesis.
Tony Banks,
if you listen to like Duke or Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, I love the sound of that keyboard. And it's a nice, like, you know, I feel like we're so ingrained into the Wurlitzer and the Rhodes right now. Those are like the electric pianos, but I feel like the CP70, CP80 is a sound that maybe like people haven't totally picked up on so much, but
I grew up on it. I love it. Like, it's crazy. So, we had one at the high school, right, that I went to, so it was there. So I was in stage band. I played trombone. I never got the drums. Someone else got it, right? And it was always there for us to play, and it was an amazing machine.
Didn't the guy in your high school that played the drums end up becoming a successful musician?
My good friend Reese Fulber became a producer, and he's got Delirium. He's got a huge projects, right?
So if you would have got the drums in high school, that might have been you.
Yes.
That's a healthy way of thinking.
Yes, exactly.
And one last one, if it could.
Okay.
And the drum beat and the use of the ride cymbal in Death and Romance is just for me. It's just absolutely the fucking bomb. It's killer. The combo of programming and live drums is done perfectly on this album. At what point in the songwriting process do you decide where you're going to bring in the live element and the programming element? Because it really does bring out a certain emotion in there. So
for sure, I mean, I think we have to shout out our drummer Nick, who just like takes
beyond
this
amazing.
I think he really tour with you guys.
And he was in our high school band, and we've known him forever.
Really?
And he's our best friend.
So, sweet.
So we like our first record. There wasn't. He was on a couple songs, but not too many. And I think sort of what differentiates Imaginal Disc is the amount of live drums and like live instrumentation and stuff. I think when we were writing, just naturally our headspace, we were listening to older music, we were listening to less contemporary pop music that had like programmed drums, and we were like, well, it just happened that all the songs that we were writing for the record, we were like, well, this needs live drums. And I think in the past we were like, some songs just need programmed drums, and some songs just need live drums. It depends on the song. And it's not something that like we went into the record thinking it was all going to be live drums, but it just happened to be like the music we were writing, they just all needed live drums. And so I would program like a little demo thing, send it to Nick, and you know, he came and recorded, and he just like took the basic pattern, but elevated it, added fills and all, the little details and stuff like that.
I kept asking Connor, I said, who is playing the drums on this?
He's awesome.
It's so amazing.
Awesome. So we have, at the end of every episode, I don't know why we call it a game. It's not a game.
It's not a game.
We give you guys some gifts.
Okay.
Is it my favorite kind of game?
Favorite. I thought there was going to be like a test or something.
No, it's called the
much
gift. Okay,
so if you want to pull them out.
I'll start with, so that one here is, I'll reach over there.
Well, that's for both
you guys.
Do we open them on?
You could. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, and then.
So it's almost all disc related.
Oh, great.
Okay. So
thank you.
We had a fan give us like 20 DVDs last show. It was
Oh,
amazing.
wow.
Really?
Of the most amazing
really
movies.
good selection. Yeah.
So
hell yes.
So this one is
That's the mystery tour.
Yeah,
That's my controversial Beatles take is I think this is their best record.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, you changed your mind.
Well, no, I said it was tied with White Album.
White Album's my favorite.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's the
Wow.
best.
I think this is equally as good.
Joni.
Oh,
Yeah,
love it.
so I figured it.
Now. Thank you.
A Joni Mitchell record, just
Hell
being
yeah.
Canadian artist.
Of course we forgot to mention her.
Sure, yeah,
we were
that
was
listening to
one.
her a lot too.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cord and Spark.
Yes,
lot-
one of my
lot of
all-time
Cord and
favorite
Spark.
albums.
and then here.
Oh.
We go.
Wow.
And,
Oh, this one's specifically
there we
for
go.
me.
Yeah, that was good. So.
Cool.
Thanks.
This is awesome.
So I'm glad that you guys have. It sounds like you have players and stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
players and stuff.
Title.
So I don't know.
great.
I don't know if you
We
have
needed
this.
this.
No,
Oh,
we
you
don't.
Okay, perfect.
We've been looking for it.
Oh,
and it's
okay.
like kind of hard to find like
Yeah.
secondhand in record stores and even like I think we couldn't find it at Amoeba. Thank you so much. This is one of our favorite.
records. Yeah.
What is
Do you have that
Yes
one already?
album.
Oh yeah.
Not on CD.
Not on
no.
CD, okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Just in case you have a CD player in your car. Or...
Yeah, we should get like do they make those adapters? Like, they have like the old cassettes. Yeah.
Yes,
That's
you
so
put-
forward thinking.
Yeah. But wait, those actually work in reverse, where like you take an old car with a cassette player and then you get the aux cable.
Yeah.
Right.
We
You
should do it. We want it the other way
You
around.
want it the other way.
So caught it.
Nice.
Wow.
Yes, Joe. Oh, this is a live record.
Live record.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this, do you have this one or no?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's
I just
great.
want to make sure everything
Yeah.
we give you don't have already.
That's awesome.
If you do have the Fiona Apple one, you can sell it on eBay. Go
No, we
for
do
it. Whatever you
not.
want to do.
Amazing.
And then
And then we have something for you to do on tour.
so okay,
Just-
what? But you
My
guys
God.
said you're not in a tour bus per se, right? You said it's like
it's
a
like
modified.
It's like you could think of it like a small tour bus.
It's like a
Yeah.
small bumpy tour bus.
I was gonna say if it's bumpy, this may be
Difficult.
a
So
difficult gift.
But that we do spend time stopped. So.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
yeah.
So this is
Cool.
for the both of you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank
You wanna
you.
open?
Sure. Oh my god.
We're being
It's
spoiled.
Christmas.
Yeah.
This is to keep you guys busy if you get bored on tour. I know you got a long tour ahead of you.
Suspense.
Wow.
Oh. Yellow Submarine board game.
A puzzle.
It's a puzzle.
Wait,
that's why we're hoping you had a flat
Yeah,
surface.
this should be interesting on the bus.
This should be. I get like so obsessed with puzzles. Like I can't stop
Yeah.
until it's finished, even if it takes like
Oh,
all
no.
night.
We had
Thank
like
you.
So you might have to cancel a show one night. You
Yeah.
start
Yeah.
the puzzle and you can't get it done.
This is so cute. How cool! 1,000-piece too. Hell yeah.
we had a 1,000-piece like Hieronymus Bosch puzzle that we were like
We
totally
were like, I
sucked
forgot
into.
about that.
Yeah.
It's like all we did for a couple of days.
But thank you.
Cancel all
Yeah.
meetings.
You're
Thank
very
you
welcome. Yeah.
guys. So
It's very sweet.
Yeah, no.
Extremely.
These are amazing gifts.
So thank you guys so much for
thank you.
coming on the episode. You guys still have you're just starting the tour, so and this episode will be up shortly. So if you guys, the viewers at home, are able to catch a show, if there's, I know a lot of them have sold out already. Actually,
Yeah.
If you're
you
in
want to come to
Omaha
Omaha or Nashville.
Or Nashville,
Come through.
those are the ones that are not quite there yet.
yeah. So those viewers, and then also, the record is out. You can stream it. You can. Do you guys have? Are you pressing it on vinyl or is
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
there's vinyl out.
Plenty of vinyl.
Oh,
Plenty of vinyl
fantastic.
Because I
around.
checked record stores the last week and I couldn't find any here. But
We should have brought you some.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah.
I'll find it eventually.
We could send you some.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I'm sure it'll get stocked again, or maybe it hasn't been stocked in the record stores here
or just
yet.
sold out really quick.
Or sold out really
I'm
quick.
sure there's some available. Yeah, but we'll send you from our tour supply.
That happened with Brat when it came out on vinyl. I saw they posted the record store that I go to. They posted it they opened at 11. They said we got 50 copies of Brat.
That's it.
I showed up at 12 because I was like, okay, I'll go there, and they're like, yeah, no, they were sold out like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, super quick.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
But yeah, record is available on vinyl, streaming everywhere.
Check it out.
Yes, please check it out.
Yes.
It's incredible record. And thank you guys so much for coming on the show.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
Our pleasure.
Our
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank you guys so much.
Cheers. Thank
All
you.
right, take care, everybody. Peace.
Much love.